How's it going, everyone? This is Wimbo. Today I'm super excited because I'm going to share you a video to talk about product lighting. This is the very hot topic right now regarding my channel. I'm getting DMs from Instagram, also comments very often from the YouTube subscribers, and they just want to know what is the best product lighting and how can they achieve good results through lighting when they are doing rendering. So in this video, I'm going to cover some principles and the concept that you need to start thinking right now. Let's get started. And the first topic I want to mention is the brand guideline or branding. Is basically there is certain product they already have some branding layout and a certain theme and style that the images need to follow the general guideline. So it's more like Apple products. So we're seeing 4 different renders for Apple. Obviously you can see it here, and they have different lighting style and different colors, and I will say the top left hand corner will be more close to the actual Apple type of product render because it's very clean and very simple. And as you can see here, this is kind of like their product line, their design is all want to be artistically simple, simplicity, minimum, and this type of feel. And for other that a little bit off because it doesn't fit in the brand. So for the lighting, you can do a lot of fancy lighting, but for the result that you need to follow the specific brand guideline in order to do that. After I explain all these concepts, then I'm gonna dive inside the lighting setups and deeply in this file. So I'm gonna show you how I did all these lighting setup. Okay, the second point is that using the color to trigger emotions. For the second render right here, so we actually use some colors to kind of enhance that feeling in the background with a dark background. Looks pretty cool, and it has a kind of like gaming type of theme, but doesn't really fit for the branding identities, or it doesn't really fit well for the guideline of Apple. If Apple going to come out with a gaming mouse, so that probably gonna work with these 2 colors, kind of cold and warm. It looks a little bit fancy and very popular using in the gaming industry. And so this can be a different lighting scenarios here. So the color can actually trigger the way you think about the product. And this third one, you need to enhance the product features and the design through lighting. So for some example like these, we can actually just kind of like using the lighting to clearly to showing what the design and what is underneath there, and just kind of showing the curve. Very simple broad light and very easy and not complicated. It looks natural and pleasing to your eye, and that's it. It actually emphasizes the natural design and Apple that I want to have, that just simple and beautiful and minimalist, that type of feeling. That's what we're going to do here. Another one, 4, will be product materials. Yes, I was talking about the product material. Sounds a little bit technical, but simply because certain products have a different type of materials outside. They can be very matte, they can be very reflective. What that is actually decided how you use what kind of light modifiers and what kind of lighting textures that you want to use for your for when you're lighting your product. For lighting textures, I already have a videos of creating, and you can check it out, and for sure. And other than that, and if you really want to know more general ideas about the quality of a light, and I also have another video ready for you to watch, and you will see that on the right hand corner on this window. And the 5, well, that's the most important rule for my kind of style. It just keep it simple. Don't overcomplicate it with the lighting, because it's just gonna if you doing too much, and then you actually losing the depth, the shapes, and the dimensions. So at the for beginners, a lot of times beginners are so crazy about lighting. They love to light and for the products, and oftentimes they overlight a product. Sometimes you just need to having a pretty good highlight and mid-tone and dark It's actually going to help you to do that. So for this part, I'm probably going to kind of making sure the background in here a little bit darker to actually creating that contrast. So that's going to be something I can done in the post. But for lighting, you can do the same thing. You're just trying to finding a good balance, a good contrast, and just keep it simple. Okay, so now let's get into each lighting setup, and let me explain how I did it. Okay, close that. I do lighting setup 1, and I'm gonna do the camera 1. So as you can see here, I already organized everything in the collections, so I can simply click here. For this, I want to activate this camera. I'm going to hit Control and the 0 on the number pad key, so it's actually just going in here. And then if I go to the render view, you can see this is how I did it, the render for the lighting. And if I come out, it's pretty straightforward, and I have a background which is a kind of a light. If I'm going to the shading tab, you can see what is going on here. And for this world, control spacebar, and I unhooked everything for the world, so it's completely dark. So usually defaults like this, but I'm just gonna unhook this, so I have a full control of the lighting environment. Now I'm just going to do one by one to selecting the lighting, and then how I set up the materials. This is quickly gonna tell you how I did this. And this is the background. It's just an emission shader, and it's plain. And then this one is another emission shader, and I was just testing things out. And you will, if you watch any of my lighting texture material videos, then you will know how to do this light very simple. So right now this is just a simple light as well. And another thing, I have a reflective key light. So basically, as you can see here, because this product has a pretty reflective surface, this is kind of like if you can see that in here, it's have a transitioning over here to actually show you that kind of like pretty shiny, plasticky type of materials. This is one of the features for this product. So I have to using the light to show in here. I can use a softer light, but it doesn't really give you that reflection. It doesn't give you that hint of smooth and a clear, sharp type of material. So that's why I need it. The reason why you wouldn't be able to see this light is because I turned off the object property, the camera visibility on the camera. So you see, this is what this light is. So when you're doing renders, this one will be invisible, so it will be pretty easy to do. Okay, so this is what it looks like for the first one. So for this type of render, it might look boring to you, but it fits perfectly for Apple brand, and also they're designed the whole line. So the lighting for this is simple, but it works very well. It can be a simple product catalog image for their products, and for a simple design product like this, it's good enough. Okay, cool. So let's go to the next one. Next lighting number 2. So this lighting number 2, it looks a little bit cooler because the background is dark. Immediately your eyes gonna trap your eyes and get into here. And so that's also one of the reasons that I was mentioning. You're trying to using color to enhance some feeling. It's cold and warm. A color contrast is gonna making the product adding a different layer of feeling of this. And for this type of shot, it looks very creative, but at the same time, it's missing the point that to let a customer to really see what this product actually looks like in normal light. So that's, you need to pay attention on that. And you probably need to make a decision if you need to producing some cool creative lighting on your products. If your clients were creative directors, just want some regular lighting for your products, don't do this cool stuff you think is cool, but it doesn't really working very well. Let's open it up in here. So these are all the products. And then for this, what we can see here is not very visible for the lights, because again the visibility part, I turn off the lights. So here's a blue light, so I definitely have another purple light right here, so I can enable that. So for this lighting, it's just these two strips of light. That's how simple it is. One thing a lot of beginners may think, well, this doesn't emphasize on the logo because the logo is so important you need to know. Well, like I said, for this type of image, it's not supposed to be the one that to representing the details of product. It's supposed to be the one to grab audience attentions immediately. So it's something like cool. And think about if you do any animation under this light, it might look a little bit fancier than the regular neutral color. Okay, so and also using the shadows. So actually, we have a beautiful edge light, rim light on the edge, so it'll outline the entire body. So nice features, and also a profile view. So it actually works very well to kind of just showing off the shapes and the design. Very simple, and the logo is very visible. So for me, some kind of shadow logo works very well because we need to having certain shape. So this is what I'm thinking for the lighting setup too. So definitely this is a creative lighting. Then we should really consider when do you need to use it. Okay, let's go to the lighting setup 3. So for this guy, and like I said, this one is just very simple environment angle, because we're trying to give a viewer a very simple environment to focusing on the product, not the environment. You can do something to change it. You can even just change the actual tabletop that we're seeing right now to be a wooden texture, like a desk, whatever you want to do, and then you can actually emphasize that feeling when actually you're using their product, and they can have a sense of feeling, oh, so this is my feeling like this, and it looks very cool on their desk. So to kind of trigger their imagination to think about to having this product. So that's the purpose of that. So for this lighting setup, as you can see here, we have like 1 and 2 very big broad lighting. So you don't actually need to have the top one for the key light. Just trying to getting a very soft broad light to show what the actual product looks like for their design, and also because this Apple product is very simple, and we just want to keep it as really easy for viewer to see the whole thing and from a different perspective. That's it for this lighting setup. So it doesn't need to be complicated. It can be very simple. Let's go to the lighting setup 4. So for this one, I want to having a little bit fancier angle for this product. As you can see here, it looks a little bit levitating, and you can see some curve design over here and big logo in here. But for this one, I specifically want to emphasize the lighting textures or the lighting setup, because this product is very reflective, and your lighting can causing issues if you're lighting in the wrong way. So what I mean is by that is, if I'm come out in here, you can see here for this one, I only have 2 lights. One's for bottom, is kind of giving some general illumination on the bottom part. The other one is the top one. So if I'm select this top key light, let's enable that, and then you can see here, I have a textures added on here. I just changed the name. It's called Crisp Light Demo. So what that means is, well, if I'm going to drag another window over here, so let's do that, and then this one, I'm just gonna go with 0, so we can see here, make it a little bit bigger. As you can see here, through this light and this bigger one right here, we actually creating some reflections down here you will see as a viewer, you will know this is kind of like a very clear plastic reflective type of feeling for this product surface. And I'm just currently using just a simple plane and with an emission shader, that's it. But if I'm switching this lighting, well, it's changing the lighting texture. If I'm just changing from crisp light demo to go to a a soft light demo, which is the one actually producing a little bit soft, and also you see the lighting textures get a change, and then immediately you see the lighting still looks okay, but you don't see the reflections for that very defined clear line, and you actually don't feel like this product is actually a reflective surface anymore. It looks like a matte, you know. So this is something that you need to pay attention, because a lot of time photographers saying, well, I need a softer light, I need softer light. Well, it depends on what kind of purpose you use. So this is something that beginners often make mistakes, that they're using for the soft light, but using the wrong way. Sometimes you need to pick up the right light in order to do the job correctly for a certain product. Okay, so if I'm gonna switch the back over here, okay, then you can see that it's kind of getting that point ready. And well, this is all the lighting scenarios I break down for you, and let's do a quick recap, because this is very important, and I really want people to know what I'm talking about once I finish this. It's going to help you, because a lot of times there's no whole lot of resources that are online to really tell you how to think about lighting. They just show you how to do 3-point lighting and what kind of modifier that you should use. Within these in mind, you are going to find an answer how you want to lighting a product. This is just one single example. I'm not gonna using this one example to cover all type of lighting, but these are the guidelines that you need to think on every single product you're going to light them, and to just kind of consider all these into finding the best lighting scenario, solutions, modifier, whatever you need to meeting the goal that you want to achieve through lighting. Okay, and all right, so this is everything I want to do, and thank you for watching. If you like this type of content, please hit like and also comment for the topics that you want to know or you want me to cover. Please consider subscribe my channel if you're also into photorealistic product rendering in Blender. Otherwise, I will see you in the next video. Bye.